Why do many men seem to find communication tiring and even at times boring? It's a question that has puzzled many for ages and continues to spark debate and curiosity. Welcome to our exploration into the enigma of male communication. Communication in all its forms is the bedrock of human connection. It's a complex, multifaceted, and ever-evolving phenomenon that shapes relationships, drives societies, and forms our understanding of the world. Yet when it comes to the realm of male communication, there seems to be a peculiar disconnect, a veil of mystery that we're about to lift. Now, if you've ever felt that men view communication as a tiresome chore or a dull obligation, you're not alone. There's a widespread perception that many men prefer action over words, problem-solving over empathy, and solitude over social interaction. It's a stereotype that has penetrated popular culture, influenced our expectations, and shaped the way we interact with each other. So, what's the truth behind this perception? Are men truly averse to communication, or is it just a myth? To answer these questions and more, we'll be diving deep into the fascinating world of psychology, exploring enlightening theories, and examining compelling studies. Our journey starts with understanding the inherent complexities of communication. It's not just about exchanging words, it's about interpreting meanings, navigating emotions, and building connections. And for many men, these complexities can sometimes feel overwhelming, leading to a perceived aversion to communication. But remember, it's not as black and white as it seems. Communication habits are influenced by a myriad of factors, from biological differences to cultural norms, personal experiences to societal expectations. It's an intricate web that we're about to unravel. So buckle up and prepare to challenge your preconceptions. Prepare to delve into the intricate maze of male communication, to question established norms, and to gain a deeper understanding of what drives men's communication habits. Are men really averse to communication, or is there more than meets the eye? Stay tuned as we embark on this enlightening journey, one that promises to challenge your perceptions, broaden your understanding, and perhaps even change the way you communicate. To understand this phenomenon, we must first explore the science behind it. One of the leading theories in this realm is the genderlect theory. This psychological theory suggests that men and women communicate in fundamentally different ways. It is not just about the choice of words or the tone of voice, it is about the entire approach to communication. Men, according to this theory, tend to focus on facts and data, while women are more likely to consider emotions and interpersonal relationships. Now, this doesn't mean that all men are data-driven robots or that all women are emotional beings. It just means that there's a general trend, a pattern that has been observed over time and across cultures. This theory, although controversial, has been backed by numerous studies and researches, and it provides a valuable framework to understand the differences in male and female communication styles. One of the most influential studies in this area is Deborah Tannen's research on gender and communication. Tannen, a renowned linguist, spent years studying how men and women communicate, and she found some fascinating insights. According to her research, men are less verbally communicative because they see conversation as a means to maintain independence and negotiate and maintain status in a hierarchical social order. Women, on the other hand, use conversation to negotiate closeness and intimacy. Tannen's work suggests that men are less likely to share their feelings and emotions because, in their view, it might lead to a loss of status. They prefer to keep their vulnerabilities to themselves, to maintain an image of strength and independence. This might explain why many men find deep emotional conversations tiring or even threatening. They simply aren't wired to communicate in the same way that women are. These theories and studies provide us with a glimpse into the male psyche and their communication habits. They help us understand why men might be less inclined to communicate, especially when it comes to sharing their feelings and emotions. It's not that men hate communication, it's that they communicate in a different way. A way that is shaped by their psychology, their social status, and their desire for independence. While men may seem to dislike communication, it's more accurate to say that they prefer a different style, direct and to the point. Let's delve a bit deeper into that. You see, men tend to favor direct, goal-oriented communication. This isn't to say they don't value the subtleties of a conversation, but they are more likely to cut to the chase, addressing the heart of the matter rather than dancing around it. This characteristic of male communication can be seen in various settings. Picture a group of men watching a sports game together. Their conversation is likely to revolve around the game's stats, the players' performances, and the overall outcome. They use communication as a tool to relay information. Now, Imagine a business meeting. Men are often straightforward in these settings, focusing on the task at hand rather than the emotional aspects of the discussion. They speak to solve problems, to strategize, to get to the bottom line. This is not to say that every man communicates this way, or that women do not also use direct communication. But research has shown a tendency for men to lean towards this style. A study published in the Journal of Language and Social Psychology, for instance, found that men are more likely to use direct speech when solving problems, while women are more likely to use indirect speech. The same study also revealed that men are less likely to use communication to express feelings or build relationships. This doesn't mean they don't have feelings or value relationships. Rather, it means they might express these things differently, perhaps through actions rather than words. It's important to understand this difference in communication styles. It's not about one being better than the other, but about understanding and respecting each other's approaches. When we understand that men often communicate directly and to the point, we can better interpret their intentions and responses. The directness is not a lack of communication skills, rather it is a different approach to communication. Understanding this can make all the difference in fostering healthy and effective communication between men and women. But where does this communication style come from? Could social conditioning be a factor? Let's take a journey into the societal norms and expectations that could be influencing men's communication styles. The society we grow up in, the cultural norms we're exposed to, they all subtly shape our behaviors and attitudes, including how we communicate. From a young age, boys are often encouraged to adopt a masculine demeanor. They're taught to be tough, to suppress their emotions, and to solve problems on their own. This is not a universal truth, of course, but it's a common theme across many cultures and societies. Research has shown how this early conditioning can lead to a more reserved communication style in adulthood. A study conducted at the University of Cambridge found that boys are less likely than girls to talk about their feelings, and often prefer to engage in activities that don't require emotional expression. This doesn't mean that men are incapable of expressing emotions or engaging in deep, meaningful conversations, far from it, but it does suggest that societal expectations can make it more challenging for them to do so. Moreover, society often rewards men for being silent and stoic. Men are praised for their toughness and resilience, while emotional vulnerability is often seen as a sign of weakness. This can discourage men from opening up and expressing their feelings, leading them to adopt a more reserved communication style. So, it's not so much that men hate communication, but rather that they've been conditioned to communicate in a certain way. They're taught to be direct, to the point, and to keep their emotions in check. But remember, societal norms are not fixed. They evolve over time, and as our understanding of gender and communication continues to grow, we can start to challenge these outdated stereotypes and create a more inclusive, understanding society. Societal norms indeed play a significant role in shaping men's preferences in communication. We must remember, however, that these are not inherent traits, but learned behaviors that can be unlearned and reshaped. So, do men really hate communication? That's the question we've been exploring throughout this video. To sum up, we've delved into the enigma of male communication, looked at theories and studies, and discussed how men often prefer direct, goal-oriented communication. We started off by unraveling the mystery that surrounds male communication. It's not that men are allergic to communication per se. Instead, they often view it differently than women do. While women may use communication as a tool to build emotional connections and explore feelings, men often use it as a means to an end, to solve problems or convey information. Next, we delved into a plethora of theories and studies that shed light on male communication. From biological differences to evolutionary psychology, we found that there's a myriad of factors that can influence how men communicate. But it's crucial to remember that these are generalized findings, and not every man fits into these broad categories. Our journey then took us to the concept of direct communication. Men tend to prefer a straightforward, no-nonsense approach. This doesn't mean they hate communication, but that they opt for a style that's more about getting to the point, and less about exploring various nuances. It's more about efficiency, and less about emotional exploration. We also can't ignore the role of social conditioning. From a young age, boys are often taught to suppress their emotions and to man up. This can lead to a preference for a more direct style of communication, and a tendency to shy away from more emotional or nuanced conversations. In conclusion, it's not accurate to say that men hate communication. Rather, they often prefer a different style of communication which can be more direct and less emotionally focused. This is influenced by a range of factors, from biological differences to social conditioning. Understanding these complexities can help bridge the communication gap and foster healthier and more effective communication strategies. So let's keep the conversation going, and remember, communication is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. It's about understanding and respecting each other's preferences and styles.